Good afternoon, I'm KHU11 Meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We are looking at those gray skies and they're becoming a bit darker as these storms continue pushing towards the Houston area. Right now we're looking at some heavy rain already moving into the Cypress area. As we go into the next couple of hours, we are expecting that heavy rain with some lightning associated with it moving into northwestern Harris County. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in closer to see what's going on. So if you are heading out towards Cypress or if you are in the Cypress area, just keep an eye on the roadways because we are looking at some pretty significant rainfall that is now moving in closer towards the Grand Parkway into 90. And so we do have some lightning with it. The National Weather Service also issued a special weather statement in place that does include Livingston. This is northeast of Houston. And so this storm that's now about to move into Livingston has 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts with it, as well as some heavy rain and dangerous lightning with it. So if you are heading along I-59 towards Livingston, towards Corrigan, out in northeast of Houston, just north of Shepherd, you're about to get some pretty heavy rain out there that's moving into about to cross the I-59 corridor. So this is all a part of this cold front that is tracking into the Houston area. So we have quite a bit of rain on the way, especially for the city of Houston. And we're now already starting to see some of that heavier rainfall moving into northwestern Harris County, which is around the Cypress area. So I think in Cypress right now, you're not really seeing much in terms of any type of pretty heavy rain. I think we're looking at most of that heavier rain that's over Hockley. That's going to be pushing in towards Cypress and as well as the Grand Parkway within the next maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And so this is showing some strengthening with this storm as it makes its way into northwestern Harris County. So that's something that we'll have to keep an eye on here in the next few minutes. But all of Houston under the gun for some pretty heavy rain within the next 1 to 2 hours. And so it's also the reason why we're issuing that weather impact alert from 5 to 10 p.m. That does include all areas here in southeast Texas, as we could look at some heavy rain that could cause some minor flooding and ponding on roadways in some locations. So you want to pay attention to the forecast and then make sure you have your notifications on, especially when it comes to the KHU 11 app. We are expecting it to be a little bit dicey in terms of our roadway situation, and we are looking at those skies becoming a bit darker. We're looking at our live look. This is from the Galleria on top of the KHU 11 studio. So future track. Here's what we're expecting to see as we progress through the rest of our evening. This cold front is going to be tracking into the city of Houston within the next maybe hour or so. So I think between 5 and 7, between maybe 5 and 7 p.m. is when we're going to see that window of heavy rainfall possible for Houston, especially as that cold front does push in towards the city of Houston, in towards League City, even the Galveston area. And this should all be wrapping up by the 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. hour. But we are expecting it to have some lingering showers into early hours of Easter Sunday morning. So definitely be on the lookout for more of that heavy rain. The Storm Prediction Center is including our northwestern areas under a slight risk for flooding. So we could be looking at higher rainfall accumulations out in northwestern Harris County, as well as Brenham, College Station, even Navasota and Huntsville. That's where you see those yellow colors, of course. So we do have some isolated pockets of rain that could bring some heavier rainfall accumulations in towards the city of Houston as we progress within the next few minutes or maybe the next couple of hours. But of course, just if you're just now joining me, we are tracking some pretty heavy downpours that are now moving into our northern areas, Montgomery, Magnolia area, Pinehurst, looking at heavy rain as well. And this is now about to continue crossing the I-45 corridor going into later on this evening. So definitely expecting more of a very active rest of our evening, but we are expecting those conditions to remain mostly calm for Houston as of now. But I think as we progress through the next couple of hours, we will start seeing those conditions become a bit more dicey in terms of wet roadways across the area. So looking right now, I'm going to go ahead and try to pull up our Conroe camera to see what's happening along I-45 north of Houston. And this is the look at it right now. This is looking at Conroe. Look at that heavy rain that's now falling over the Conroe area. This is at Veterans Memorial Park. You have some pretty heavy rain. You also have those flags blowing in the wind. So they're seeing some gusty conditions out there in around the Conroe area. So we're now starting to see, if you are in Houston, this is kind of the setup that we're going to be looking at here shortly, going in the next 2 to 3 hours as you see those wet roadways as well as that heavy rainfall that's now moving over the Conroe area at the moment. This is 45 is off towards the left of your screen, and so it's very well likely that we're going to start seeing most of our major roadways be impacted by this heavy rain as we progress through the next 2 hours here. So that's Conroe, but if you are joining me from Houston, especially in towards the city center, we're looking at quieter conditions, but of course just keep in mind that even though that we are starting off with mostly quiet conditions right now, especially as you see right here. It's just we have the cloud cover, not really much in terms of heavy rain, but you saw that Conroe cam just a while ago, and that rainfall is heading southward, heading into Houston here shortly. So radar is firing up quite impressively in terms of the heavy rain, but we're also looking at some dangerous lightning that's now about to move into the Cypress area, and all of this swath of rain is actually heading into the city of Houston within the next 2 hours. And so the current time is 4:06. That's the time of this broadcast, and we are expecting that rainfall to continue falling and moving in towards the city of Houston here shortly, and we cannot rule out some of these storms that could pack a bit of a punch later on within the next maybe hour or so, especially the one that's over Cypress, is because we have quite a bit of rainfall that is now moving into the Grand Parkway, closest to the Grand Parkway in 290, and so roadways about to be pretty wet out there, so definitely keep that in mind as you head into the next couple of hours here across Southeast Texas. For your 7-day forecast, just wanted to sum this up that as we go into the next few days, the good news though is that most of the rain chances for Sunday morning is going to be during the early morning hours. Lingering showers are possible, but we're going to be significantly cooler, especially heading into Sunday afternoon. Temperatures warming up into the 70s. This is going to be a pretty strong cold front, so we're going to see those overnight and morning temperatures dropping into the 50s, but we're going to have mostly quiet conditions at least until Wednesday, and then we'll be tracking our next weather system that will be moving through by the end of the week. So definitely expecting a little bit of an active weather pattern here shortly as we start our weekend, especially for our Saturday evening. I know things are quiet outside in Houston now, but we are tracking that heavy rainfall that is now moving in to Harris County, and I think I give it about maybe 30 minutes to an hour is when this heavy rain will start impacting the city of Houston here shortly. So of course we are tracking the latest. Right now no severe storms are on radar. We're just having some very heavy rain with some dangerous lightning, but that doesn't mean some of these storms could become stronger here within the next hour or so. And so that's your latest weather update. We are tracking the latest, and make sure to join me in about an hour. I'll definitely return here with the latest weather conditions and how this rain is impacting the rest of our weekend as well as our roadways. Have a good and safe rest of your evening.